what do you do when it comes in? Now, last year or a year or two ago, or whatever it might have been, uh, it was pretty hard trips, and there's some bad things about it. So we're going to be talking about that, as we're going to be talking about just the different things that you should think about while trip, and then when you actually get to pick up the rider. So we're going to be talking about those things today. Let's start off looking for a ride, and it's a 45-minute ride. So you kind of got to really think about these things and ponder them first. The first couple of things you should be figuring out for yourself is if the ride is close to the end of your shift, or if you want to go further away, depending on where you are time-wise, depending on where you are location-wise, that can have a major impact if you want to accept or deny that ride. Also, paying attention to what's going on. You know, is it a little dead? Is it going to be busy? Are you expecting a lot to happen coming up in the near future if you're in that certain location? If you take a long ride, will it actually have a problem down the road? So there's a lot of different things there that you should think about. And then if you decide to accept it, one of the first things you should ask before you actually hit the ride to go on it, when you're at a passenger's pickup, and before you actually tap over to say start ride, one of the things you should really ask is, where is the ride going? Because that can also have a major impact on things. A lot of the Facebook group posts that I've seen lately for long pickups have been 3, 4, 5 hours away. So if you're trying to end your shift in an hour or two, you might not want to take that ride, or maybe you have nothing else going on, you could take that ride. So there's a few things right there that you want to figure out too. Find out where they're going before you hit start trip. That's a major thing. So yeah, you want to think about those things, mostly where they're going to be, what's going on in the area, things like that. Now, the good side and the bad side of things with long trips are many different things. There's a lot of bad things and there's a lot of good things when it comes to these 45-plus-minute trips. First, we'll start with the bad, and then we'll go to the good, where it's a little bit better. But yeah, we'll go with the bad side of long trips. First off, when you first get the ride and it just says 45 minutes, you don't know how long that ride could actually be. That ride could be, 45 minutes, almost on the nose, or it could be 4 or 5 hours away. You don't really know. So you don't know until you get there to talk to the passenger. It's unfortunately the way it is. They don't have increments, which maybe they should. So maybe it's 45 minutes plus a ride, maybe to an hour and a half, and then might say like an hour and a half to 2 hours or something like that. It should be broken down a little bit more because, yeah, you don't really know how far away it could be. Also, the direction of where it's going. You might not know where it is. You could also be near a border where if you're going into that area, you can't drive going into that area. You can drop that person off, but you won't be able to pick anybody up until you get back into the area you're allowed to drive in. Uber and Lyft vary this differently. So like with Uber, I can only drive in upstate New York. I can't go to other areas and drive just the way the market is. You're allowed to drive in that market, and that's really much it. With Lyft, it's a lot different. As long as you're improved in the area and the areas around it are similar or allow those things, then you can drive. So I can go to Ohio, I could drive there, I could drive in Pennsylvania. I can drive in different areas as well, driving on Lyft's platform versus Uber. So sometimes that can play into effect, especially when you're returning. Obviously, taking a long ride is great because you're going to get paid for a long ride. You're going to have a pretty good amount of time. But some of the bad things about it, too, is what if in your area there's a concert letting out, or there's a sports event that's letting out, or something that's going to be pretty big, that could be, maybe the end of the night for bar districts, or maybe there's a lot of things going on. Maybe it's just real busy because an event let out at the convention center or something during the day. There's a lot of different things that can play into effect where you could get surge pricing, where you could get primetime pricing depending on the platform you're on. And the amount of money you might make going on this long ride could be matched by the rides that you'll get in your local area. So you really got to weigh those different options. One of the big things is, hey Chelsea, what's up? But yeah, one of the big things that you got to pay attention to as well is not just those events, what's going on, but when you actually are on the ride, where you're going, those things. So, I've been on a number of long rides, and each one is, what's up, Sammy? What's up, Brenda? What's good? Like the channel, lots of useful. Not all do a good job. Thinking starting my own channel. Any advice? Sammy, I'll talk about that later. Remind me after the video. After we're done with that, we'll hang out and I can help you out a little bit more. Hey, Brenda. Yeah, long rides aren't necessarily the best anymore. That's actually how Lyft started. I don't know if people knew that or not. What's up, Seth? Lyft actually started being a long ride service where it was not just a few minutes, not even just 20, 30 minutes. It was like actual long rides, so from city to city. That's where they originally started, and then they, transitioned into what they've become now. So Lyft had a different model at the beginning than what Uber had, and then obviously they are direct competition with each other. But yeah, when it comes to the long rides, and this is actually inspired by a couple of long rides that I've had more recently, and then like more the downfalls after the fact versus the good aspects of it. And yes, there are a lot of good things with it too, but we'll go with the downfalls, like I said, where we're talking about them right now. So yeah, the bad part of it is, I'll use a couple of rides, for example, for myself. There were 3 rides. Each of them were all about the same distance. 2 were to Rochester. 1 was to just past Dunkirk. So I'm in the Buffalo area, Buffalo Niagara Falls area. Those were the longest that I've taken, mostly because I drive at night. So the long rides aren't too frequent, but there are a few every once in a while that pop up. And depending on the time of day or depending on the time of night, I might take them or not. Rideshare Hub, what's up, Dylan? One bad thing is they don't talk. Yes, that is one thing. I was just about to say that. Picked up a 2-hour ride last night to bring someone to rehab. Oof. I could imagine that was pretty interesting. Could not get back. Yeah, that's where I was just about to go. So the 3 rides that I took, all were about an hour and 15 minutes away from where I picked them up. So that was great. That wasn't my longest ride. My longest ride I'm going to talk about later because that's very unique in itself. But each of them were about an hour and 15 minutes, 2 in the same direction going from about Buffalo to Rochester, and then the other one was going south of Buffalo, which is past Dunkirk, going towards like the Pennsylvania border. Each of them were very unique in their own. One of them was a girl who was like, I don't know if she was tripping on something or what, but she was like dancing to the music and all this stuff. And I'm like, go ahead, have your fun, doesn't matter. Thanks, Dylan. Yes, thumbs up for everybody. We got 6 right now, cool. 11 people watching that I see on here right now. So welcome everybody. But yeah, so what I was saying is, each one is different. Yeah, one girl was partying and having her own little fun, so I don't know what the hell she was necessarily on, or just that type of person where she was having fun. That's cool. The one that I had the other day, he slept through his train ride. He was supposed to get off in Rochester and ended up getting off in Buffalo, so that's why I had to drive him back. And he was tired because he was coming from New York City, so he's sleeping. And obviously at that ride, yes, it was very awkward, quiet, silence. So I just have the music on, driving, do my own thing, pondering things in my mind, whether it be life, whether it be what I want to bring for the channel. A lot of different things. And then there was one where, yeah, the girl just flat out fell asleep, but it was traveling along the lake. So that was actually pretty cool too, and a really great experience because the northern lights were actually happening in the far distance. I know what to look for, so I was actually watching them while I was driving, which was a pretty cool experience, nonetheless. But yeah, the long trip going out can be really weird because you can have a really cool conversation, a lot of fun. I've had that too, where it was a lot of fun conversations. It was a really good time, but you have those awkward, weird no conversations that happen. And when you're going there, hey, it's great. You're getting paid. You're getting paid for a long time. There's no downtime when you have an hour, 2 hour, 5 hour ride. It doesn't matter. But the problem that happens after the fact is then going back. So if you have an hour and a half ride, if you have a 3 hour ride, if you have a 10 hour ride, guess what? You have to double that time back. So your 1.5 hour ride now is at least 3 hours at a minimum. It's at least a 5 hour ride if it's 2 half hours. If it's a 10 hour ride, hey, guess what? Now it's 20 hours. I've actually had people ask me if I wanted to go to South Carolina. They never really ordered the ride, but I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't care. I know people in Charlotte, so I'll stop back in Charlotte, hang out at the beach or something for a little bit. I would do instant cash out and then I'd have a little fun. But the only problem with long trips like that is I'm not going to be able to pick up anybody until I can get back into an area where I'm actually able to pick somebody up. So it really is hard that way because, yeah, the money might look great, might sound great, but you still got to put all the gas back, all the time back. You got to get food because by that time you're probably getting hungry. Yeah, if you're going an hour and a half, a 2 hour, 3 hour ride, maybe you don't need the food, but you still got to drive back. And if you don't have rides, that's just an empty nothing getting paid back. So that's a major, major con right there. And each of the 3 rides that I was talking about a few minutes ago, both to Rochester and to going out past Dunkirk, south of Buffalo, there were no rides coming back except for 2 rides where I was almost back and it was picking up. One of the big things too, you need to use destination filters coming back. You could drive in that area if it's not too far. Like I said, I was in Rochester, which is an hour, hour and a half away from Buffalo. So I could start driving in that area, but it also depends on time. I also know that the bars close around there early, so it's not necessarily a prime spot to stay in. And I don't know that market necessarily, so I could just be driving around aimlessly or sitting in a place aimlessly, not really knowing if a ride's going to come in or not. So I don't know the area. So that can be also a problem too, is not knowing the area. So all the times I put destination filters back on. And the problem with destination filters, especially when you're going long distances, they're going to take you on the highway or the quickest route back. So anybody who doesn't know New York State, when you're on the mainline highway, which is Interstate 90, there's exits maybe every 13 to 15 miles on average. So you are on the highway and you're not going to get a ride unless you're really close to the exit that you're coming up to, and that's very luckily if you do, because you're going 65, 75 miles an hour or something, so you're going to be going through that pretty quick. But yeah, that's a problem too. If you're on the highway, you run the risk of not getting as many rides. Obviously, if you're in cities and say you're on the outer loop or going through from, say, like Houston, from one end of the city to the other end of the city, going straight through, or even the outer loop, yeah, that's going to be a long time itself, but chances are you're going to have rides in that area. So that's not too bad. But when you're going beyond that, when you're going out of the city, say you're going from Houston to San Antonio, or if you're going from Charlotte to Charleston, or if you're going from Vegas to LA, those are where you're going to have a lot of problems. Where going through unpopulated areas, there's going to be no rides. So that's a problem. But yeah, make sure you have the destination filter on for sure, because if you get a ride that pops up, you could be going away from your destination even further. So using the example in Rochester, Canandaigua to Rochester and Rochester to Canandaigua is actually a pretty common place for trips. So you could be picking up a ride in Rochester, going to Canandaigua, which is now, even further away from my spot in Buffalo, which can add to the downtime that I'm going to have to drive back. So yeah, those are a few cons. Anybody else who's watching too, if you have any cons of anything, yes, late at night is horrible. And that's usually when I drive. I pay attention mostly at night. That's when I drive. Now, let me get you into a crazy ride that I had, a long distance ride that is unlike any other ones. I work on Long Island, New York, but when I drop off, it lets me do Uber Eats. What's up with that? Uber Eats is a lot different. Uber Eats qualifies differently than actually driving. So New York City is a whole different beast. Long Island, yes. If you're on Long Island, you can drive anywhere in the state. So if you ever go into Westchester, when you hit like Bronx Parkway going up towards that area, you can start driving. You cannot pick up rides in the 5 boroughs though. You have to actually be licensed. You have to be part of their whole process. But you can drop off in the 5 boroughs. You cannot pick up anybody in the 5 boroughs. Uber Eats is a lot different because it's a food delivery system and service. It's not a taxi service. So that's where they differentiate. So yes, if you're in Long Island and you're dropping somebody off into the city in the 5 boroughs, you can still do Uber Eats because you're not actually transporting people and passengers. It's the passengers where it gets a little dicey. And I actually didn't really know that until more recently as well. But I did know about the 5 borough thing. So like if you have anything like that, but yeah, fellow driver in San Diego did a ride from San Diego to LAX. His cut was initially 141, put it on hold for 48 hours. He ended up Yeah, I've actually heard that. That's another downfall. Some of the long trips that they do have recently been put on hold, where you can't necessarily cash out right away, or they'll put it on hold because they're going to adjust the fare. And that can be a problem. So one of the big things is you need to really watch out on that too. That has becoming a problem more recently from what I've heard, seen through other drivers, through other Facebook pages and all that fun stuff. But yeah, if you're taking a long ride, I've only seen it on Uber's end. I haven't seen it on Lyft's end. So if anybody knows if Lyft is the same way or not, I have seen that and heard that on Uber's end a few times on many different rides. Let's go back. Hold on. I thought I saw a couple. Brenda, you loved Buffalo. That's awesome. Went to school in Buffalo. Was it UB or Buff State? It is a very beautiful. Both campuses are pretty nice. UB is gorgeous, though. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm caught up on the comments. Oh wait, no. Dylan said a couple of things. It's great long rides when you have a good convo. Yes. I had one long ride over an hour and the dude was urging me to speed to the airport. You know what? Hey, here's the thing. If people are urging you to get somewhere faster, drive the speed limit. Who cares? One, you're getting paid for time and distance. So if it's 60 miles away or if it's 100 miles away, you're getting paid. Let's just say $1. Let's hope nicely you're getting paid $1. I know it's much less, but you're gonna get paid $60 no matter what, whether you're going to and from. But the time is where it can make a little bit difference. So if you're going, 80 miles an hour when the speed limit's 55, one, you could get a ticket, so you don't want to do that. Plus, the passenger can then go and say you were driving fast and get you probably temporarily deactivated at that time, as well as maybe a discretion with the fare itself after you just did a long ride. So it's not worth it. Drive the speed limit, maybe a little over. Just go the flow traffic. Don't really do anything above that because time and distance, here's the thing. If you got to drive back as fast as you want. Who cares? Don't do it with somebody in the car. But yeah, no. Go the speed limit. Don't go above it too much. just a little joke. But yeah, definitely make sure you do that. One other thing, going back to the story of my longest ride, which was actually one of the weirdest rides, and hey, you guys might have had something like that too. But giving you a quick background of this of what happened. I got a ping for a ride. It was a slower night. It said 45 minutes. I'm like, hey, cool, whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I like to see where people are going anyways, so it's always fun to do that. So it was a suburb of Buffalo, not too far away from the city. Picked the girl up, and she's like, hey, so yeah, we're going to go up to Medina, which is about an hour away drive. I know I'm giving out areas in Buffalo that nobody, unless they know are from Buffalo, would know. But I'll give you the time distance. So it's about an hour away. Most of the driving was done on back roads only because the way the interstates work don't go that way. So it was like an hour there. So she's like, hey, we're going to pick somebody up and then we're going to drive back. So we did literally a whole loop, which was fantastic because, yeah, I went out an hour and then I drove an hour back, 100% getting paid, which was great. Now, the weird thing was with this story is the whole ride there, we had great conversation. It was a lot of fun. And, just finding out what was going on, the situation of the story. This girl was going to pick up a guy that she never met, only talked to through on the internet, whether it be Tinder or Bubble or whatever the hell it was. Plenty of fish, whatever. So she was going to pick him up and take him back to her house because he couldn't drive. Why they didn't just get a ride from that area to her house, I don't know, but I wasn't complaining because I was going to and from. So yeah, the whole ride there, we were having pretty good conversation. Now, go pick this guy up, and the conversation just stopped. Like they weren't even talking to each other. It was really weird. It was just like the normal, hey, how are you? And this awkward weirdness. It was really weird. And then the guy ended up talking to me more, and I'm like, dude, why aren't you talking to the girl? But yeah, that was actually probably one of the weirdest things. But I wasn't complaining too much because it was a 2-hour ride, going a long distance and then getting paid back. And then, I just ended the night because it was a pretty decent ride. And I was, pretty tired at that point. So I'm like, I'm just going to go home. But yeah, then let's go to the good sides of things. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy story. Nonetheless, if you guys had anything like that, comment as well. But yeah, going to the good side. One, you're getting paid. If you're taking a surge or primetime ride, if you're in a market that still has multiplier surge, that's a great ride to have. There was one time where I took an hour ride from the arena where the Sabres play up north, past Niagara Falls, but a little bit east, which was about an hour away. And I think it was under I want to say it was 2.3 or 2.1 surge. So that was an awesome ride. So that's a really good thing. Even when you take, even the flat rate surges, if most markets are flat rate now, even if you take a long ride on a flat rate, sometimes with the surge, depending on how it is, they will actually add more surge to it, which is pretty good. So that's always a nice thing. Doesn't happen often, or it doesn't happen all the time. There's some stipulations behind it. And I'm not sure if that's some of the reason why some of them get put on hold too, because like I said, Lyft still does it with the multiplier effect for the most part. I think that I've seen a couple markets where they're doing flat rate. If anybody's in a flat rate Lyft market, let me know because I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. I'm still on the multiplier. I'm actually in the multiplier and surge too, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, there is no surge ever anymore. And that's because there's just too many drivers. And it's the summer slowdown. But if you know how to drive, you know where to drive. And that's a whole different video, so we're going to get out of that. But yeah, when it comes to the good, yes, you're making a pretty decent amount of money for one ride. You're making it, you might make, if you're taking a 45-minute ride, chances are you're at least making 35 more dollars. And most people usually tip, and they tip a little bit larger. So like the long ride that I just took last week, or actually a couple of days ago, it was great because then it was a $59 and change ride, and then they tipped me 17 and change. So it ended up being, I think, $77 total, which wasn't too bad. The only thing that sucked was the ride back. But right as I finished up, I got a call from Dustin. So from the YouTube channel, Dustin is driving. He gave me a call, and we were chatting pretty much the whole ride back, which was pretty entertaining at least. But yeah, other than that, if you're not chatting on the phone with somebody, it could be a pretty slow ride. Now, hands-free, of course. I'm going to promote hands-free. Don't have the phone up. But yeah, yeah. Again, destination filters can be a great thing because you can start getting rides on the way back. But again, things don't always happen that way. But it does have that ability. So if you're in an area where, again, if you're on the other side of the city and it takes 45 minutes, you're probably getting quite a bit of rides. You know, if you're in the San Francisco, Oakland area, you know, you're probably getting pretty good rides, even though time. Same thing with LA. Unfortunately, traffic sucks down there, but had a 2-stop trip from New York to PA and back. It was amazing. Oh yeah, I bet. How long did that take you? Because PA is a pretty big state, depending on where you are. Yeah, hey Dustin, what's up? She was thinking that's not what your profile picture looked like. What's up? Yeah, damn, yeah, flat rate. A lot of markets have flat rate. I'm grateful for the multiplier, but here's the problem: we don't have Uber Comfort in our area, which a lot of people don't like anyways. I don't even qualify for it because my car is too old, and I'm not buying a new car for it. Too bad. You want to pay, if Uber wants to pay me to get a new car, sure, maybe. But we don't have Black, we don't have Lux, we don't have anything like that. We don't even, the nice thing is though too, we don't have Pool, we don't have Pool Express, we don't have Lyft Line, we don't have any of that crap. So that's a good thing. We have X and XL. In our market, which, hey, that's cool. But I am very familiar with Pool Express, Line, Black Express, or not Express, oh my God, Lux, all those things. So that's a good thing. But yeah, in our market, it's a small market. It gets things always later. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. For a lot of drivers who I see out driving with brand new cars, they're probably not happy because Uber Comfort isn't in the area. And then they're driving new cars, but like Black or Select or any of those cars aren't available either because they don't offer them here. Why did Uber adjust that fare so drastically? I couldn't tell you either. Unless you actually saw the breakdown of it. I don't know. Longest ride, Long Beach to Comic at like 2 a.m., about an hour with surge at 1.3. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Whenever you get surge on a long ride, that's always fantastic. So that is a perk. If you're in an area, say a sports arena, a concert, whether it be like football, whether it be hockey, baseball, maybe not so much baseball, but hockey, especially depending on who's playing. So like Toronto is a big thing. Now we can't drive over the border. You can't drive over the border. It's just a rule that they have. So if you are driving over the border, you're not supposed to. But yeah, they'll actually stop you. But depending on what's going on, you could actually have a pretty long ride going from a sports event somewhere. The biggest thing, the Bills play around here. So if you get a long ride going, say, Rochester, surge is always insane there because of you have 70,000 plus people all getting out at the same time and wanting rides. And there's a lot of people who use Uber and Lyft. So I've seen surge prices on the multiplier still go from, 5, 6, 7x. And if you take a long ride, you're making some pretty good bank there. I don't know anybody who might take that long or that ride because you're paying a few $100s on that, especially if, say, you're going from where the Bills play to, like, let's just say even an hour away, where normally, let's just say $50, and you got a 7 times, you're paying what, $300 or $350. Some people might pay that, some people might wait. But if you luck out and get that, that's always nice. I had that, like I said, going from where the Sabres played to like the middle of nowhere, and it was a 2.1 or 2.3 surge. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's always great. That's always nice. So you can luck out on that, and you can get rides coming back. And on a slow night, it's great. It's great to take a long ride because you could be sitting there not doing anything, twiddling your thumbs. If you drive around aimlessly, I don't recommend doing that unless you're going from spot to spot to try to go somewhere where there might be rides. A long ride could be just an extra little thing. Even if you don't get rides back, yes, overall, it's not going to be that great. But let's say you take a 2-hour ride, you get $120 or something. For 2 hours, you split it between the 2 hours, you made $60 an hour. So that's not too bad. And that will happen from time to time. So that's not a bad thing. That's actually a pretty good thing. And it can be the saving grace, like I said, when it's a really slow night. And during the summertime slowdown, where there's way too many drivers, if you get that long ride, that can be a great thing. That really can. Other than that, there's other good things to it as well too, where it's going to be long. Maybe you want to go in that area. If you have a destination filter set and you see a long ride going to that area, that's an awesome thing. Chances are that's not going to happen though too often, if really it ever, but it can. There's a lot of crazy things that can happen. But yeah, let's see what a couple other guys were saying. Yeah, I want to. Doug, did you reply? If you do, let me know what that ride. Where were you in PA? Was it Philly? Was it Erie? I mean, there's quite a bit. You could go from New York to Erie, and that's a 6-hour drive and back. That's not bad. But yeah, Loper, hey, what's up? New Uber driver here. Was wondering if when passengers leave your vehicle, do they like to sniff the seats to get in? It's funny you say that, actually, because the guy that I took the other night, he had a little stink to him, and it wasn't a good stink. It wasn't something you want to smell. It was pretty bad. But luckily, he opened the window up, and I was all right with that. And then I keep a little bit of spray. But yes, it was an hour and 15 minutes that I had to deal with. At least I got my nose adjusted to it. So, where were we? Hold on. Vincenzo, what's up? Yeah, Paul, let us know why that drastically changed. Sammy, longest ride, Long Beach. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, $120. That's awesome. They missed their party bus back. Yes, that's what happened with the guy too. He slept through his train stop. So how are you going to get back to that? You're not going to wait for the train at 10 at night because there is no train at 10 at night. So, all right. Stiff to seats or not? I hope not. I meant to say most I made on one ride, not the longest, made one. Okay. Well, yeah. Longest ride, the longest was a surge. It was going from Niagara Falls back to UB, or right around UB actually, which was like, it's a 36 or 37-minute ride. But here's the best part. They put in the wrong destination location. They put the right address in, but it was in a different township, which was about 10 minutes away. So they had to adjust it because when I verify, I say, hey, are you going to this address? And they said yes. So I said, okay. So we started driving there, and they're like, wait, this is the wrong address we typed in. So they changed it. So it was even extended. It extended by about another 10 minutes. And the surge was, I think, right around 3 or something. So yeah, it ended up being like I don't even remember, like a right around $100 ride, which wasn't too bad at all for that amount. So that happens, which is awesome. So I've only ever had one long ride on Lyft. Does Uber give you the 45-minute? Yes, yes, both do. It's 45 minutes for both platforms. Unfortunately, they don't tier it. So if it was like an hour and a half, they should let you know, or 2 hours or 3 hours or something like that, where it should be a little bit tiered so you know. Because if it's 45 minutes, it could be 45, but you could get there maybe in 40 minutes, depending on lights, depending on traffic. There's a few things. So it could be around that 45-minute, but it also could be 10 hours. You never really know. That's why when you get to the location, if you accept it and you get to the location, first thing you do, besides verifying that it's the correct passenger, make sure you actually see where they're going, because you still have the option to cancel that ride. If it's going, a few hours away, maybe you're like, oh, I could do an hour and a half away. That's not a big deal. But if it's a 3-hour ride or a 5-hour ride or something like that, that might be where you got to cancel. And actually, recently, I've seen a few people on the Facebook pages who are saying that were about to pick up a long ride, and it was like 3 or 4 hours away, and they denied it, and then they saw another Uber Lyft driver sitting there, either ready to pick them up or maybe going on the ride or not. But yeah, always verify at least where it is. Don't start the ride. Because if you have to do something where you can't take that ride, you want to make sure you know where you're going at least first. But yes, both do that. Let you know that it is. Lancaster, so yes, 6 hours. Okay, Lancaster, PA. So that's in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it's it's about a 3-hour drive from the city, and then 3-hour drive back. So that's not a bad ride. That's pretty good. I don't know what they were getting. Maybe they were getting some Amish stuff there, but I don't know. They got a lot of good stuff there in the Amish country. A lot of good stuff. Some good chairs and that. Good to know. Good to know, Chelsea. Thank you. All right. Any questions or anything with long rides? Comment right now. If you guys have got any other questions or anything just in general, comment as well, or put in the live stream, because we're live at the moment. We'll go back to Sammy. Sammy, if you're still on, if you're thinking, I asked where they were going. If it's a long ride before they get there, either call or text. Yeah, you can do that, call or text, as soon as, you can definitely do that too. Call and find out where it is, especially if it's a longer pickup. If it's right down the street, a lot of the times mine are maybe like just 3 minutes away, so I don't mind driving there and figuring it out. Most of the time it's not too far, but yeah, occasionally it will be. And depending on my time, depending on what's going on, I might take a long ride. I would take a 6-hour ride. I wouldn't have a problem with that. As long as I could try and get some rides back, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, doing the 6-hour ride back might be tough. But yeah, like I said, I did have somebody who asked if I would drive down to South Carolina, and I'm like, sure, why not? I wouldn't care. I know people in Charlotte. I know I'll meet people down there. I'll hang out for a little bit and take a mini day vacation or something and drive back. But that's my outlook. I don't care. I'd put everything else on hold for a little bit. Maybe I'll do a live stream or two on the way back. But yeah, no, I mean, that would be pretty fun. But yeah, that's actually good. But Sammy, going back to what you said earlier, if you've been thinking about a YouTube channel, easiest thing, email me. So I can, we could chat a little bit further. YouTube's fun. It is. There's a lot more work involved than you think there is, especially editing videos. That can take a lot of time up depending on what you're doing. But it's really fun, and you can share your experience and things with a lot of different people and a lot of different audience. But yes, email me and we can talk a little bit further. Email is realridesharestories@gmail.com. Link is always in the description as well too. So shoot me an email if you've been thinking about it, and we could talk a little bit more. But yeah, other than that, if anybody's got any other questions or anything, but yeah, long ride. Long rides are great. Long rides do suck. It just depends. They're definitely always 100% of both, if that makes any sense to you. But yes, they do suck and they are awesome at the same time, but depending on what's going on. And always be mindful to, if you don't want to take a ride, you don't have to. You're not obligated to take 100% of the rides that come in. Unfortunately, I know quite a few drivers, especially new drivers, that will try to hit that acceptance rate every time because they think that there's going to be some issue down the road. No, you don't have to take every ride. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And be mindful, especially what's going on. If you know there's a concert getting out, if you know that there's a sporting event getting out, if you know a bunch of things are getting out around the same time, you don't need to take that long ride unless there's surge coming with it or prime time coming with it. Other than that, you'll probably make a lot more money from people getting out at the events. And that's one of the best things. Always know your market, always know your area. If nothing's going on and a long ride comes in, take it. If you're at the airport and a long ride comes in, take it. But again, obviously, take it if it's within your time frame, if it's within your distance, within all of that. So you want to be mindful of those things. Other than that, I don't really have much more to say. But yeah, if you guys wanted to hang out or anything like that, or chat real quick about something or had questions about something, because I don't think anything. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for that. Whoops, sorry, hit the tripod. I am in my studio. I'm not in the car. Unfortunately, live streaming from my phone, especially in the car, you know, it gets really bright. It's like ghostly white, even though I am actually kind of dark right now because the sun and I get tan because I'm Italian. It's still really bright. So unfortunately, it was really hard to find a shaded spot where I was looking at because there was a lot of things going on. Because I do enjoy doing them from my car. I like the fresh air, but I'm in my studio, so this is where we do a podcast. Me and my buddy do, and we do a couple of different things. All right, off topic. Hey, that's fine. We're hanging out now. Quick question off topic, but smoking. I smoke in my car, not on rides, but are passengers allowed to smoke while you're working? Smoking is, look at the terms of service. You're not supposed to smoke. It's supposed to be smoke-free. Last time I checked. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. If somebody asks if they want to smoke in the car and you allow them, that's you. That's your call. You're the driver. You're the one who makes the choice. If you don't want people smoking in your car, that's your choice as well too. So when it comes to terms of service, if people are asking, and then that's okay. False alarm. Okay, cool. Hanging out with the kiddo in a little while, so she's taking a nap at the moment. So if she is not awake, I can hang out longer. When she's awake, we're going to a carnival, so that's going to be fun. Also, quick plug, if you guys like, I know this is completely off the rideshare topic, but health, mindfulness, wellness, holistic, all that good stuff. My girlfriend, she just started a YouTube channel. She's all about that stuff. Her YouTube channel is Mind, Body, Spirit with Chell. Go over there, check it out. She talks about a lot of different things with a lot of different things, whether it be oils, whether it be help, whether it be natural help, being healthy. A lot of good information that's about to come, so go check that channel out. Check her out. She's got a lot of good stuff. You've all seen her in our Rideshare Driver Joe videos. She is Samantha. She just played whoever it was that was yesterday. I forget who it was. and she's going to be in a couple other videos as well too. But yeah, go check her channel out. Everybody else who's got a channel too. So Dylan with Rideshare Hub, he's got some good stuff. Dustin is driving. He's got some great stuff as well too. Just everybody else out there who's driving. Make sure to check everybody else out, because all of us as YouTubers, we're all drivers. We all do different things. We all have different ideas, different thoughts behind it. But the good thing is we all can come together. We all have a voice where we can come out and talk about things, share it with you guys, and have some fun. And that's really the point of it, as well as educating and helping everybody, especially within the rideshare industry, where they don't like to talk about a lot of things, especially when it comes to new drivers. And that's another big thing too with new drivers. Check YouTube. Unfortunately, a lot of the channels will focus on some of the negative things, but those are things that you need to know, you need to watch out for. And I try to post also some of the good videos too, where it's just really good conversation, a lot of fun, a lot of different things going on. So that's kind of where I kind of differentiate a little bit too, although a lot of people do talk about the good things as well, besides just talking some smack and some bad stuff and giving some tips and tricks. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there who drive. Get familiar with everybody. I want to plug everybody out there because everybody's got a voice and opinions and thoughts of how things are going and all that good stuff. Plus, they can answer certain questions as well too that you might have. So, yep, just wanted to plug everybody there. But yeah, any other questions or anything? If not, we're going to be getting off really soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications if you haven't already. It's a great channel. Love doing it. It's a lot of fun. I really like the creative side of things. There's a lot of good videos I got coming up. Tomorrow we got a video already. Actually, I got a couple of videos lined up for the next few days. I am going to start doing a couple of late night streams too. I think maybe once or twice a week, live streams. And they'll be like wrap up from the day or from the driving that I just did, where whatever was going on, maybe something crazy happened, whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. So I'm East Coast time, so anybody who's I might finish 1, 2, 3 in the morning. If it's 3 in the morning, I probably won't do a live stream, but if it's like earlier, I'll probably do like a little bit late night of the live stream, see who's up, hang out, talk about some of the crazy things that just happened, if anything, and just shoot the shit, I guess, a little bit. West Coast, you'll definitely be happy because it'll be 3 hours less, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, that's a couple of things that are going to be added into the mix. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also check out everybody else out there, because everybody's got their own unique flair and all that fun stuff. So enjoy that. Any last wrap-up things? I don't think so. All right, with that being said, though, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off. Hope you guys enjoyed. If anything else, you guys can comment below after the live stream. But yeah, as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time. Oops.